So we're only going to have a few people with us today. So if you guys want to unmute your microphones and join in the conversation, totally up to you. I've also got the question box open. If you guys feel the need to write in any questions along the way, I'll be happy to answer those if I can, or defer to Tracy, but we're going to give it another minute or two. We've got 3 people with us right now, and I know we had 6 people signed up, so we're hoping some folks are going to join us here in a few. And it's always
so Mark, what's your favorite one to present?
You know what? I've done Mississippi a lot since I've been doing these webinars, and since it's such a new product for us, I'm really excited about it. I think we're doing it right. I think the ship is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a combination of our ship in Europe and our ships on the ocean. It's like a happy medium between the two. I can't wait to see the itinerary. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. We'd like to welcome Richard, who just joined us. Thanks for joining us today, Richard. Glad to have you. But you know, there's so many destinations I like. I'm a history geek. I was doing a presentation once in Illinois, and when I was done, the travel agency owner came up to me and she just kind of gently put her hand on my arm and she said, "You wanted to be a history teacher, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, actually I did." You know, that was where I was heading to. But I love what I do, and I love to be able to bring in some of the historical perspective into any presentation that I do. But it just makes me absolutely happy. But this looks like it's going to be such a great product. We've got more that we're going to be talking about over the next couple weeks. But I think we're going to go ahead and get started, Tracy, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
We've got 5 people with us. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can walk us in.
All right, well, welcome everyone. I'm happy you could join us today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tracy Erlandson. I'm the owner of Epic Destinations. And we have Mark Stromberg with us today, who is the Director of Business Development with Viking Cruises. And I'm really excited about this Viking partnership, and we're starting out with the Viking Mississippi cruise because I too think this is going to be a marvelous product, and the itinerary looks amazing. And I have to tell you, I'm not one to get super excited about domestic vacations, but this is definitely something I want to participate in, and I think it looks like a great deal of fun, Mark. So with that, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you so much. Like I said, folks, you've got the ability to unmute yourself if you want. You can type in questions, and I will get to the questions either during the presentation or after the presentation, but would love to hear your comments. We're going to get through this all together. Lisa, can you hear us? I see your question that says, "Have you started? Is there a problem?" Yes, we have started. We are starting. I'm not sure if Lisa can hear us or not. I hope so. Lisa, if you can hear us, let me know if you need something from me, but I can see you're attending, so check your speakers to make sure that they're turned on, or that you're set up to receive it. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. As Tracy said, my name is Mark Stromberg. I've been working for Viking Cruises for 5 years now. I started in our inside sales department, and a little over a year ago, I got promoted to be the director of business development for the Midwest. So there's 5 states that I cover, including Iowa, and I love going to Iowa. I've made some really great friends there, and really enjoy it. So let's dive into this a little bit. I've got a lot of fun things that I want to share with you. First thing I want to tell you about is Viking as a company. Our philosophy is very simple, is that we do not want to be everything to everybody. We're going to focus on those we know will enjoy our cruises, and these are English-speaking mature couples with curious minds and an interest in history, culture, and geography. I can't stress this next point enough, in that we are a very, very destination-oriented cruise line. Our ships are beautiful, and you're going to see that today, but it's really all about where those ships are going to take you. I don't think anybody books a cruise based upon just the ship. So we're very happy about that. We're delighted to bring that to you. We offer a highly inclusive product with no nickel and diming. You don't want to be constantly reaching out for your wallet, and we don't want that either. We're a very efficient operator, and anytime we can pass savings on to you, we will. Finally, we're proud to say that we seek to hire the very best staff in the cruise industry and have a very high retention rate. What that means to you is that the level of personalized service you're going to receive on your Viking cruise is unequaled. Hey, Bill, I see your question, and I'm going to hold on to that question until the end, if that's okay with you. We call our cruises the thinking person's cruise because they've been created for curious and experienced travelers. Our Mississippi experiences will include shore excursions in every port. The Viking way of exploration will bring culture and history to life. We're modernizing Mississippi exploration. You're not going to find crown top smokestacks or a paddle wheel on Viking Mississippi. We're going to bring a modern destination-focused journey to the Mississippi that will scale in Viking's distinctive Scandinavian style with innovative light-filled spaces where comfort meets discovery. We will present destination-focused dining that will specialize in regional cuisine, always available classics, and alfresco dining served by our award-winning Swiss-trained staff. So the Viking value, what are you going to get with Viking cruises? That's a good question. Our goal is to provide you with a great value so that we've designed our journeys to give you more for your money with a fare that includes everything that you need. Among these is going to be one complimentary shore excursion or guided tour in every port of call, free Wi-Fi during your stay on the ship, beer, wine, and soft drinks will be included with lunch and dinner, 24-hour specialty coffees and teas and bottled water available in your cabin, port taxes and fees, and if you purchase your air through Viking Cruises, your ground transfers are going to be included. Now, I mentioned that we have included tours in every port, but Viking also offers you the opportunity to explore the destinations deeper with carefully crafted optional excursions. These are categorized in 3 different ways. Local life reveals the rhythms of daily living in your destination. Working World provides a glimpse at the world and work, allows you to tap into its passions and see its people anew. With our privileged access, we've arranged exclusive entree for Viking guests to cultural treasures found around the world. So as you can see listed here, there's just some samplings of what we're talking about for our extensive optional tours. So on Viking Mississippi, we're going to be taking guests on 8 to 15-day voyages that include national monuments, museums, and more. We're going to sail to 15 of America's most iconic small towns and large cities. We'll be traversing thousands of miles of American scenery, nature, culture, and history along the Mississippi as we journey along a 10-state river system hugging this great American river road. I want to talk about our ship. We're very proud of this ship. It's going to be beautiful. She's going to be built starting, I think, in the fall of this year. She's going to offer the same Scandinavian design and comfort that you've enjoyed on the Viking longships and the Viking ocean vessels, but this ship is going to be purpose-built with spaces designed exclusively for this ship and this river. Overall, she's going to be 450 feet long, 75 feet long, 193 staterooms, and 386 guests. She's going to have a very favorable crew-to-guest ratio of 2.6. Our reception space and several other public spaces aboard the Mississippi draw on inspiration from life along the river. We've exerted a portion of Mark Twain's famous Huckleberry Finn novel as the backing of our five-deck staircase and leading entry space into the vessel. So what this means is that you can start on deck 5 and you can walk down this staircase and you can read a complete chapter from Huckleberry Finn. The restaurant will bring the best of oceans and rivers culinary concepts to the Mississippi, featuring an open kitchen concept that provides guests the enjoyment of buffet-style dining in the morning with living cooking stations to an elegant seated dining experience in the evening. The restaurant will have a capacity for 250 guests and we believe will become one of our guests' mainstay dining options throughout their cruise. The living room as we call this part of the ship, has been designed as our main gathering and enrichment space for guests throughout their voyage. Here we're going to feature unique cultural enrichment programming at each port, and guests can gather to enjoy 24/7 coffee and snacks. One of the other dining options that we have on the Mississippi ship will be our River Cafe, and it's going to be a truly unique spot. It's designed to flow seamlessly indoor to outdoor on Deck 5, our top deck, from our Aquavit Terrace to the Sun Terrace and our Infinity Plunge Pool. This is going to be one of my favorite spots on the ship because this is our Aquavit Terrace, and this is a signature of all Viking ships. Every Viking ship has a place we call the Aquavit Terrace. What's going to set this one apart and make it special is that we're going to be offering regionally inspired barbecue cuisine up here. Now, I'm a guy who loves a good barbecue, and this is going to be a great place for me to eat. This is also another dining option. So far, we've got 3 different dining options for you to enjoy while you're on the Viking Mississippi ship. This is a beautiful space on board of our ship. This is our 2-story panoramic explorer's lounge. This is going to offer guests a tranquil spot for an evening drink after an enriching day in port. And it's truly just a beautiful space during the evening. I love the amount of windows that are here. You can see outside just seamlessly everywhere. My favorite place to hang out, this is modeled after our Explorer's Lounge on the ocean ship. And this top deck, the second deck, is definitely the place that you're going to want to be. We do have a glass-backed plunge pool, which gives our guests a chance to unwind and dip their feet into the relaxing waters on Deck 5. This is on the top of the ship, right at the stern of the ship. Anyone who's familiar with our ocean ship knows that we have an infinity pool on the back of our ocean ship. Well, here we've taken that concept a little bit wider, and we've extended the plunge pool to the entire width of the top deck. So this is going to be a great place to cool off and relax. Now, right up at the front, if you're looking for really an up close and personal view along the river, the bow is going to be the destination. This is located directly in front of the Explorer's Lounge, and the bow is going to afford guests a captain's view of the river and access to a 360-degree walking path that is going to completely surround the ship. Remember, the ship is 450 feet long on each side and has a beam of 75 feet. So I'm a history guy, not a math guy, so you guys can figure out how long that walking track is going to be. We want to walk you through some of our cabins because we're very proud of these. I think they're going to be really spacious, very nice. So our entry-level cabin is a 301 square foot French balcony cabin. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a French balcony is essentially it's a sliding glass door that opens up onto a railing. So it's a great compromise between a private veranda and a spacious cabin, and it kind of gives you the best of both worlds for this. But a hallmark of Viking Cruises is that we don't have any inside cabins. You're always going to have an outside cabin with Viking Cruises, and we're very proud to say that on the Viking Mississippi, every cabin is either going to have a private balcony, veranda, or a French balcony cabin. So next up, if you want the private veranda, then our veranda and deluxe veranda cabin is going to be the one for you. This is 268 square feet. It's going to be a great spacious cabin. This is very similar to our entry-level cabin on the ocean ship as well. But the verandas you can see outside there, they're large enough for a table and a couple of chairs. And another dining option that we have on Viking Mississippi is going to be complimentary 24-hour room service. So if you get back from your daily walk, your daily tour, you just don't want to go down to dinner, you want to relax in your cabin, order room service. We're going to bring it to your cabin and you can eat it out on your veranda balcony. Next up is our beautiful penthouse veranda at 324 square feet. This is my favorite cabin on this ship. I just love the layout of it. I love the size of it. This is our penthouse junior suite, which is going to measure in at 400 square feet. And as we get larger, The balconies keep getting larger. So this is a 425 square foot terrace suite. And as you can see outside there, there's this large private terrace. Not only will we have a table and a couple of chairs out here, but there's this beautiful lounge chair as well. The largest suites on board are our Explorer suites, and these are going to range from 657 to 1,024 square feet. The basic layout is going to be the same regardless of the cabin size, but it just depends on where you are on the ship. All of your amenities are going to be the same with this, and we will have one ADA accessible cabin in this category. So where are we going to go? That's the big question, right? So Viking has divided the Mississippi into 4 distinctive segments for our itineraries, each offering a unique take on the river. We are going to explore these 4 itineraries in more detail in the next few slides. But as you can see, we will completely cover the Mississippi experience from the northern port of St. Paul, Minnesota, to the Mississippi Delta in New Orleans, Louisiana. So the first one we want to look at is the heart of the Delta, and this is going to sail from New Orleans to Memphis, or the reverse. We're going to sail this itinerary from January to mid-June and from mid-October to November. So we're not going to be sailing this when it starts getting really hot and humid down there in the south. Next up, during the fall, our upper Mississippi itinerary will offer gorgeous views of changing foliage during the seasons. Here, our 8-day America's Heartland itinerary will sail the river between St. Louis to St. Paul. During the winter, when it's too cold to go all the way to Memphis, we're going to run another itinerary called Southern Celebration. This cruise will be in December and January and will be a great Christmas or New Year's cruise. Now, finally, this one we're going to go into a little bit more detail on it. This is our longest itinerary. And this is, so far in booking, this has been our most popular itinerary. This is America's Great River, a 15-day itinerary that combines all of our itineraries and stretches from New Orleans to St. Paul in the north. We just opened up this for sailing in 2023. So if you're looking at sailing this one, 2023 would be your best bet. Here's just an overview showing the section of the river that we're going to be covering. As you can see, we're pretty much hitting all of the Mississippi. Let's go into a little bit of detail about each stop, and you can kind of see and get a feel for what Viking is going to be having in store in each one of these stops. So our embarkation point for this itinerary is going to be St. Paul, Minnesota. So after boarding, the afternoon is going to be yours to relax or explore the city on your own. The Twin Cities boasts distinctive neighborhoods and diverse traditional contemporary eateries and an acclaimed art scene, all served up with friendly Midwestern manners. Next, we're going to enjoy the scenic landscape of this portion of the Mississippi as we sail to Red Wing, Minnesota, with a panoramic tour of its downtown and the Eagle Center. This city is also known for its American-made Red Wing shoes, which produce footwear for soldiers in both World Wars. Now, one of the optional tours that we're going to offer here is an afternoon on Lake Pepin. So we're going to enjoy scenic cruising on Lake Pepin aboard a paddle wheeler, followed by wine tasting among the bluffs. One of my cities to stop in on is going to be La Crosse, Wisconsin, as we're going to explore this with its numerous sites in the National Register of Historic Places. With a panoramic tour of the city, its important architectural landmarks, along with the array of engaging statues lining the riverfront, make La Crosse feel like a vast open-air museum. One of the highlights here is going to be a privileged access optional tour to the Vesterheim Museum, where we can relive the Norwegian immigrant experience at this National Norwegian American Museum. Arriving in Dubuque, where you're going to capture the flavor of lifelong Mississippi during the Great Steamboat Era. As you tour the city, which is known as the masterpiece on the Mississippi, see the Matthias Ham House, which was built by one of Dubuque's earliest entrepreneurs, which was built in 1857, and exemplifies the opulent Victorian lifestyle of a booming river town just before the Civil War. This stop is also going to include a visit to the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium. Now, honestly, one of the highlights here is going to be an optional tour of Taliesin, Frank Lloyd Wright's personal residence. Now, this is on the National Historic Landmark, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, our port will be in the Quad Cities area of Iowa, where we will begin our day with a visit to the John Deere Pavilion, created as a celebration of the past, present, and future of agribusiness and the John Deere family homes. One of the optional tours we're going to be offering here will be to the Quad Cities Botanical Center and Museum, where you can venture into the garden for all seasons and then see Davenport's premier natural history and science museum, the Putnam. Home to numerous historic buildings, Burlington grew into a major economy with the arrival of steamboats and the railroad, the two major ways of transport in the 19th century. For the history lovers here, such as myself, we're going to have an optional trip to Old Fort Madison, where we will step back in time at the Upper Mississippi's oldest military garrison, where your local guide will explain the fort's dramatic history. Hannibal, Missouri, known as the birthplace of author Mark Twain and the setting of his two most famous novels, Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Enjoy the stories and sights of Twain's days in Hannibal as you hear about Tom, Huck, Becky Thatcher, and Injun Joe. Today we explore St. Louis with an included panoramic tour of the city. Gateway to the West is home to a diverse array of celebrated architectural treasures, which among them is going to be the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis with its 41 million piece mosaic, the Renaissance Revival City Hall, and the 19th century old courthouse. Two very special optional tours that we have here is going to be, one is going to be a tour of the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, and we're going to visit one of America's oldest breweries, whose grounds include 3 National Historic Landmarks. The other optional tour that you can participate in is a visit to the National Blues Museum that celebrates the blues as the foundation of all modern American music. Next, cruising the serpentine route of the lower Mississippi, you're going to witness an astonishing array of picturesque landscapes. Sail past deep green forests, lush vegetation, and a patchwork of fertile farmlands, all hugging the shores and hosting a huge variety of bird life. This is a good chance to simply relax on board and enjoy the amenities of our beautiful ship. As we transition into the true American South with a stop in Memphis, the Queen City of the South, it's birthplace of Memphis blues music and known the world over for its distinctive barbecue. Future President Andrew Jackson co-founded the city in 1819. With its strong trade in agricultural goods and other natural resources, it has grown into one of the South's largest commercial centers. A highlight of this port will be the rock and roll pilgrimage visit to Graceland, the fabled estate of Elvis Presley. This is going to be part of the included tour. Another full day of scenic cruising along America's great river, where you can immerse yourself in the region's history and culture by reading a book from the extensive library, participating in a cooking demonstration, attending a lecture, and just enjoying the scenery. Today we arrive in Vicksburg, and you will immediately feel the Southern tradition that flows through the city's veins. It's rich in history, especially Civil War history. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln called it the key to the South, and it indeed proved to be the site of one of the conflict's most pivotal battles, the Battle of Vicksburg. Our included tour is going to take us to the Vicksburg National Military Park, where we're going to revisit the battle that turned the Civil War and explore the USS Cairo, which was an ironclad gunboat that prowled the river. Did anyone catch the Grant miniseries that was on History Channel about a week ago or over Memorial Day weekend? Excellent, excellent done documentary. And it talked about Vicksburg in exactly this way, that it really was one of the keys to the whole campaign in that area. So if you get a chance, not that I'm plugging History Channel, but it's definitely worth your while to check that out. Natchez, Mississippi is the perfect location in which to enjoy small town America. The town is distinguished by more than 500 historic buildings, including over 200 perfectly preserved homes that still grace its broad avenues. For the culinary lovers, we are going to offer a historic homes and chef-hosted lunch optional tour that will explore 2 historic Natchez homes. Then we're going to visit Restaurant 1818 for lunch and some classic Southern cocktails. Next, we arrive in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and take a panoramic city tour of the area. We're going to hear tales about the hard-working, fun-loving Cajun people and their contributions to Louisiana's history and culture. On our included tour, we're going to see the new and the old state capitals, the old governor's mansion, and so much more. We've got a lot of optionals here, but one of the highlights is going to be an opportunity to enjoy Cajun culture through music and folk tales at the vast Rural Life Museum and sample tidbits of authentic Cajun cuisine, or step aboard the USS Kidd, which is the only Fletcher-class destroyer restored to her original World War II configuration. Our journey is going to end in the Big Easy, the Crescent City, New Orleans, Louisiana. After a delicious breakfast, disembark and proceed to the airport for your return flight, or extend your journey with additional nights in New Orleans or Lafayette, Louisiana. Folks, we do have some great inaugural season specials going on for these itineraries. So we're going to offer up to $1,000 per couple off these itineraries, and your air is going to start at only $199 per person's round trip when you book through Viking Air. Tracy would love to talk to you about this, and she's happy to book this for you. That's going to kind of wrap up our show for today. If you have any questions, folks, other than anything that we can help you with, reach out to Tracy. I put her phone number there, her website, and her email. Also bear in mind, we've got 2 more of these webinars coming up, June 9th, the Viking Galapagos, and June 18th, Viking Caribbean. And Tracy and I are going to work on scheduling some more, so stay tuned. Tracy, I'm going to give this back to you, and you can walk us out.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Mark. It's very neat to see all the destinations that are coming up with the Mississippi cruise. So if anyone is interested, Mark put my information up there. The best way to get a hold of me, you can go to the epicdestinations.com page, and all my information is listed on there as well. If that's the only thing you can remember, the epicdestinations.com, epic with a K. Feel free to call or email me. And also my Facebook page is a great resource. I post all the upcoming webinars, specials coming up, and things like that. So if you go to my Facebook page or the website, you can sign up for the newsletter, and I'll be sure to send out when these upcoming webinars with Viking will take place. So I appreciate you joining us today, and thank you to Mark for walking us through this. I'm very excited about it.
My pleasure, folks. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We appreciate it very much. Does anybody have any questions before we sign out? Let me know. And if not, we will bid everybody a fond farewell. Oh, Bill's got a question. Bill, you had asked a question about the virus, and I'm happy to answer that for you. Right now, Viking has suspended all of our cruise operations, both ocean and Europe, until July 31st. And at that point, we are going to be reevaluating and looking out to what else we can do. But like so many cruise companies, we're not sailing right now. We've always had very high standards on board our ships for cleanliness, but from what I'm hearing is that it's going to be really doubled up. We are really going to be taking a lot of precautions on that to ensure that it's safe for our clients and our guests to join us on board the ship. So those are some of the things that we're doing right now, but I'm looking forward to us getting back in the water. We have all of our crew is standing by and ready to go. It's important to note we haven't laid off anybody throughout our company, and I think that just speaks to the strength of our company and where we are, that we're taking care of our employees during this time as well. But believe me when I say that if it's not safe, we're not going to travel, and we will only travel when it's safe to do so. But a lot of these, we're going to be waiting on different government entities to open up. So we can't do a river cruise in Europe if France isn't allowing new guests in. So as soon as they open that up, we will. So stay tuned. Tracy's going to stay in contact with me about this as well. So if you have any questions, I would refer you to her, and she'd be happy to reach out to me with anything that you need. If anybody else has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And if not,
Mark,
like
I do have one question
yeah,
for
go
you.
ahead.
You had mentioned in the phone call we had the other day that you do have limited sailings available next year. Is that correct?
We are open for sailing for 2021, yes, and we anticipate we're going to be back in full business by then.
Right, but for this Mississippi, I know it's been incredibly popular and selling out every date that you add, but you do have some cabins here and there, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. We do. We're not going to be sailing Mississippi until 2022. But because 2022 was sailing so well, and no, it's not completely sold out, but we have opened up 2023 as well.
Okay.
So there's some great deals on that as well. So if Viking is something that you want to get onto on the Mississippi, I would encourage you to do so now, because I'm sure that before we actually put a boat in the water, I think this is going to be sold out.
All right, perfect. That's exciting.
I think so.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. I appreciate it very much. Like you said, reach out to Tracy with your questions, and we will look forward to seeing you guys on June 9th with Tracy and me, and we're going to talk about Viking cruising in the Galapagos.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate your time.